Hey guys, welcome in this new video. I hope that all of you are doing great. So in today's video we are continuing with the trade breakdown series with a very good trade on Euro Yen. Just before I start, as always, if you are not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you do that, so that way you are sure to not miss any new videos coming up. Alright, so as I said, we will take a look at a trade on Euro Yen. So first of all, here is the profit that I made on this trade. You will see when we will jump on the chart, but it was a very short-term trade. It was on for less than 24 hours. I actually took two trades, basically trading the same movement as always. Well, we will see that when we jump on the chart, but overall that was a very good trade. It was a short-term trade. I had no plan to keep that trade for the long term, and you will see also why of that when we jump on the chart. Also guys, if you would like to learn more about how we trade, join our trading group and just work with us, make sure you check out the first link in the description box below, and it will bring you over to my website, which is my trading course, and there you will find all the information about how you can join us. And I don't know if you guys saw what I posted on Instagram recently as well, but since the beginning of 2019 I've taken less than 5 losses, right? I don't know exactly how many trades I took, but it's between 30 and 40 trades. So on 30, 40 trades, I took less than 5 losses, right? So those are pretty good results, I think. I'm pretty glad with them. And yeah, so that just goes to show you why a lot of the trade breakdown videos are actually good trades, because, well, I don't have many losses. Most of my trades end up as a winning trade, so that's why most of the videos are winning trades. It's really that simple, because I get asked sometimes that question, why there's not that many videos about the losses. Well, it's simply because there's not that many losses. It's really that simple. But anyway, so let's actually jump on the screen right now and take a look at this trade. Okay, so we're now on my chart. Let's take a look at this Euro Yen trade. So as always, I will start on the higher time frame and then show you guys basically the forecast of what I had and then what happened with the trade. So let's go on the daily. So on the daily, or let's actually go on the weekly. So on the weekly chart, what we can see is that we have this up move, we have this correction forming here, and so eventually I think on the very long term we will see more upside here. Now that's the main forecast that I have. Of course there are other possibilities, but that's the main way that I'm looking at this pattern developing right now. So when we go on the lower time frame, well, what we can see is that we actually had this impulse coming up here, and we have this pattern. Now the question is this pattern over, right? Are we ready and going to continue with the next impulse here? Possible, but it's not a necessity, right? There are many other possibilities of how this pattern could develop, and as of now, well, we are missing information to know which of those scenarios is the most likely to happen. But what we can be sure of is that this will either break now or develop into another pattern. Those are the two possibilities that we have. So on the lower time frame, which is where the trade went, as I told you guys, it was a very short-term trade, and you will see why. So basically we had this 3 waves pattern. Now once again, I will repeat it because I get asked this question a lot. Just because they are 3 waves doesn't mean that the pattern is over, and it doesn't mean that it's a 3-wave corrective structure. Those are 2 different terms and they mean 2 different things. So it's important to know the difference and to understand the language that we use to describe those movements. Anyway, so we came back to the low after breaking this one here, and then, well, we went back up. Now, if you guys follow me on Instagram, which you should do, you saw that I actually had another trade on Euro Yen. So my first trade that I took was actually from this level here. We had this impulse here, we got this nice correction here, and when I got the confirmation for the upside, then I decided to take the trade. Now this trade ended up as a break-even trade, and I closed the trade around those levels here when we broke out of this low right there. There was a very specific reason of why did I close this trade at this level. The reason is simply that this could have made another low right here before the upside. And that was a very likely possibility according to how I was looking at the structure. So that was the first trade that I had, which was from here, and I closed the trade here. Now after that, I waited a little bit to see what was going to happen, because I knew those two possibilities. This would either go back totally downside or just make a bigger pattern here, which it did, and then go back up. So after that, when I saw that I actually made the bigger pattern and that we would get the next upside, I decided to get back into the trade, right? And that's something that I've seen a lot of people struggle with. For example, when they close a trade with a small profit or break even or loss, like whatever, if they see the trade still go after, they will not get back into the trade because of fear, and a bunch of different emotions, and just bias according to the chart, which is something that, as always in trading, you want to avoid as much as possible. So I'm never scared personally to, for example, take a break-even trade, but if after I see that it's still going, well, I just get back into the trade, right? It doesn't change anything. So that's basically my thought process on how I went about this trade. So I saw the breakout here. I got a nice buy setup on the lower time frame. When we broke out of this little pattern here, well, I simply took the trade at this level. My stop loss, as you can see with the line, was only under this low, so I had a pretty tight stop loss. If you guys watch the other trade breakdown videos, you will see that most of the time my stops are a little bigger than that, but this one was a pretty tight one, simply because I was looking at this here being a complete pattern, and I didn't want it to make another pattern, because there was still the possibility here of falling down or just making, as I said, a much bigger pattern. And in both situations, I don't want to be in that trade anymore if it actually goes down. So that was the entry, as I said, around here. My stop was here, and the only target that I had, as I said, was at those levels. Now you see that it actually went up a little bit more after getting to my target, so I closed the trade somewhere around those levels, and now we're here, right? So it's not a big difference. Sometimes people will freak out because of those little movements, or because it goes a little higher or lower than the target or the stop loss and all of that. But at the end of the day, those things don't matter that much. What matters is that you respect basically the plan and the rules that you set for this trade in itself, which is exactly what I did. You can see this arrow here, and as always on Instagram, I posted, by the way, this the screenshot of this trade when it was here, right, when I just took the trade, and I had this arrow before that we actually went there. And if you want, you can go back on Instagram, and you will probably be able to find that, or maybe not, because it wasn't my story. But anyway, if you follow me on Instagram, you know what I'm talking about. So the arrow was there before even that it made the move, just to make it clear, because sometimes people will say, oh, you place the arrow after the move. No, it was there before that it happened, obviously. That's the point of putting the arrow, to show where I'm expecting the trade for my students, because this trade was obviously posted in our trading group, as I always do with all my trades. So that was the trade here that I actually got and that we made. As you guys can see now, that was a very short-term trade, because I got in here and I got out here. So that was actually all of this happened in the same day. So yeah, about 12-15 hours that I stick in that trade. So as I said, it was a very short-term trade. And now, well, what you can expect, even if we went a little higher than the target, it does not really matter, as I said, because we still have the two same possibilities on this pattern, which is either total breakout. If we get this total breakout, for example, next week or a few weeks from now, then I will be able to get back into the trade, because I will get another trade setup here before that it takes off. So that's the first possibility. The other possibility is that this develops into a bigger pattern. For example, we could get something like this here, and then maybe the upside or even more downside, depending on what pattern it actually makes. So yeah, that was the trade breakdown on EUR/JPY. As always, we saw, well, the overall view of the market, as I just showed you, the trade, meaning the entry, the stop, the target, and how the trade evolved after taking it. So yeah, that was the trade breakdown for euro yen. So that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching once again. I hope that it helped you and that you learned something from it. If you did, please share this video around you. I would truly appreciate it, and that way, well, you are sure to help other people as well that may find this video interesting. So thank you so much for watching once again. Take care, trade with care, manage your money well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.